doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve, be that one. You can be that one person that helps make your group better, makes the people around you better, right? And it's just stepping out and being that example. When you set the standard and you hold the standard, right? Regardless of how you feel, you hold that standard. There's always going to be people that come that want to tear you down because you stepped out and you want to be different. There's always going to be people that are waiting for you to fall. Do not give them the satisfaction of that shit. Do not give them that satisfaction.
For the money, would've gave up long ago. It's the passion and the drive buried deep down in my soul. It's ambition, I'm too hungry, I ain't never getting full. On a mission, it's a battle, locked and loaded, bulletproof.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Nesian Built Podcast. The Baldy Boys are back for another episode, and this is the Pacific Islanders Podcast, where we tell our stories and our lessons of our journey to help you on yours. Another episode.
Let's go.
Here for you. Here to tell some stories. Here to go on maybe some rants, possibly. But yeah,
hang in there with us.
We got some things that we want to talk about. Been busy with the brand. We've been picking up and getting ready basically for a big Black Friday that we want to have this year. So things are rolling. Merch is flying in, coming in overseas. We're printing. The shop is full. Shelves are packed, and
that's always a good problem.
Yeah, it's a good problem. So we're getting ready, and then there's half marathon that we are all registered for now at this point.
Should have registered earlier, but
yeah, it would have been a little bit cheaper.
It's a little pricey, man.
But we have the half marathon coming Thanksgiving weekend, and we just finished the Spartan race. But we're not going to talk about the Spartan race because we're going to be doing that on the next podcast. But yeah, one thing I just want to bring up, if you guys possibly could, it would help us out a lot. If you follow us and you watch our podcast and you watch our other videos, please subscribe. Please like the videos, comment, let us know what you think. Give us some feedback if it helped you, if it inspired you, if it did anything for you. Comment, let us know. Let us know what more you want to hear about. And yeah, if you could hit that subscribe button, it'd be really nice of you.
Thank you in advance.
Yeah, thank you. But today, this is something that I want to talk about. And I know we're going to talk about this, right? And regardless of how we put it and how well we probably talk about the information, out of all our listeners of the podcast, there's probably only going to be one person that takes action. And as we always say, we're always just hoping that we can help that one person. So if you're that person, this episode is for you. And so this is where we're going to start. And this is where you should start. Be a leader. Be that one. Be that one person in your family, in your group, in your community that makes changes for the better. For the better of the group, for the better of the community, for the betterment of yourself. And whether you believe it or not, you're a leader. If you're a mom, you're a dad, you're an uncle, auntie, you have a job position that you are responsible for other people and the success of other people. Even if you're not, even if you're the lowest rank or the lowest position in that company, in that job you hold, you are still a leader. People always like to follow by example, right? They like to see it and know how they can get it based off the results that somebody else is getting. So be that one. Be that one that makes the difference. So when we talk about this, right, it's going into not being afraid to step out and do things that you know
that's a huge step. That's a tough step, I would say. Yeah,
and that's why we want to talk about it, right? Because it is hard. It is hard to step out and be a little bit different. We've talked about these things in past podcast episodes, right? But getting the message across and being that one person, being that person that just kind of starts, right? It's always hard to just be that person. But even if you know that it needs to be done, right, for the betterment of the group, for the betterment of your community, because you can look around and you can see, like, and this is just basically like something that I saw especially back in, a couple years ago in the group, in our group, where we did all the same things. All of us had this mental struggle of just shit going on with us, bro. Like we weren't doing anything to fix it. All we were doing was drinking those sorrows away. So for those couple hours where we were drinking, getting toasted and all that stuff,
you escaped it.
Yeah. We're escaping the pain. We're not dealing with any of it, right? None of the problems were solved. We're just covering it up for those couple hours. And as soon as you leave there, it possibly got worse. As soon as you stop drinking, after those couple hours, problems probably got worse because they came out, after you got, intoxicated and all that stuff. So these are the kind of things that, at that point, it's like, we need to avoid this. We need to actually solve the problems, get better about it, be able to fix them, not use those problems for a reason to go get drunk, get intoxicated, to try and cover it up for those couple hours and then bring it back out and never really solve them. So, and that's why we say the way to solve these problems is to better yourself, right? Better yourself. You become a problem solver. You become someone that doesn't even put yourself in positions for these certain problems, right? So like, I'm talking about like, even if you're a mom or a dad, especially, right? We were just talking about this off air, where you might not see that people may be following you with what you're doing, right? And like, you're training for your race, and you've already ran your 5K and your 10K. You might not think that people are following that, but within your journey and your process of going through all that, you still have your kids, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, and what you're learning through that process of, dealing with showing up every day, executing regardless of how you feel, because you have that half marathon that might still scare you shitless, like, because it's a long fucking run for you, right?
That's a long run.
So you still have to go through that process of learning and building yourself up for that, right? For that. But through that process, you're learning lessons about yourself. You're learning lessons about life that you can pass on to your kids. So even if they might not need it right now, that's always something that you can reference back to to help your children. So it's not always going to be immediate, right? And that's the point. It's not always going to be immediate. None of it is supposed to even be like that. And I always feel like that. It's not supposed to be like that. It's like, even with the stories that I post in the morning, the workout stories, I'm only looking for that one person, basically. Other people, they might not need it. Like, I'm going to the gym either way. I'm getting my workout in either way. Fucking awesome. That's great. That's how it should be. But that one person that didn't find that motivation that day, he went. I gotta go. That's all I'm looking for. That's all I'm looking for. That's the only reason why I really like to post it. It's hold myself accountable too, right? Mm-hmm. It's that other people see it and they know I'm holding myself accountable, that I got my workout in and the work is always being put in, and to help that one person that needs it that day. Because you never know when they're going to need it. You never know. But if you're putting in the work and you're going through the process, you can help somebody. You can help somebody, especially a process that you've never been through before. Like we were just talking about off air also. Look at all the big guys, right? Mm-hmm. Like, you're running as a big dude, right? Yeah. It's different for me when I talk about it because I'm a lighter.
Yeah, we're on different spectrums of it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's very fucking different. It's very fucking different for a bigger guy like yourself that most people would just look at and say, he should just be underweight. He just should be lifting weights, right? Pushing weight all the goddamn time. But
that's
you're
what
running.
I thought I needed to do back in the day.
Yeah, but you're running, right?
Yep.
So you hitting the pavement and you're putting in miles, and that's to show and be that one that shows that the big boys can do it too.
I think the thing I struggle with when it comes to that, like trying to put that out there, or I should probably posting more about it too. Mm-hmm. I feel like I should. Nowadays, especially after talking to my brother, because he was talking my ear off about it the other day. Mm-hmm. He's like, man, bro, you got to do that. You got to do that because you can inspire so many other people, on my end of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. On your end is great. What you're doing is crazy. And I find myself comparing myself to you when, I should look for you for that inspiration, which is great, which is what I do. That's why I'm doing it. But even like you say, I got to run my own race. My heart is different. So, but I do find a struggle because I'm still in the process. I have not arrived. This is my first time showing up to something like this. So I think that's what I struggle with, but I definitely need to make a more conscious effort to put myself out there, because I've already heard, what's his name that came in here and told me about how running my first 5K inspired them to do theirs, or they're planning on doing theirs. That was pretty awesome to hear,
Yeah.
So that lit a fire in me. So, it's just because I'm not there yet, I feel.
Yeah.
Maybe after I achieve this, freaking half marathon.
And this is what I'm going to tell you right now.
What's that?
That's not going to be true then either. Like,
Yeah,
I'm telling you might think that, bro, but I'm telling you right now, even
we talked about that the other night we were here, right?
Yeah. It's like even that, bro. Like, so I've like running the 2 marathons and putting myself through the process of training for those things.
Yeah.
Even with that, I don't even think that I'm even still good enough to talk about that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I still do it anyway because I went through the process. I learned a lot of shit and I felt a lot of stuff through the process.
Yeah.
So I talk about it because I don't know what anybody else is going through, but they might be going through the same emotions. They might be going through the same process of trying to do something hard.
Yeah.
And whatever I talk about could help them. That's the whole point of it. And it's just trying to get out of my own way to help somebody else. Right. And it's me not trying to be selfish and be able to be vulnerable, right? To share the experience.
That's a big one too.
Yeah, just trying to be vulnerable. Like, I'm okay. Like, people, man, nobody's fucking perfect. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Everybody can act like they're fucking got everything figured out. But I fucking know you don't, right? You see all the people on Instagram, everybody's just highlight reels of everything of their life.
Only the good times.
Yeah, but everybody's fucked up in some kind of way. Like, it doesn't matter what you fucking say. Everybody's got shit going on. So I'm not scared to show when I fail. I'm not scared to show when I'm going through something because it can help somebody, because I know that everybody's going through shit.
Yep.
It doesn't matter how you want to fucking put it and how you want to act like you're fucking perfect, or you're the strongest man in the world, or you're the fucking fittest in the world. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be somebody out there better than you, and there's always going to be somebody out there that you can help based on your process, right? There's that, right? It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve. Be that one. You can be that one person that helps make your group better, makes the people around you better, right? And it's just stepping out and being that example. When you set the standard and you hold the standard, right? Regardless of how you feel, you hold that standard. There's always going to be people that come that want to tear you down because you stepped out and you want to be different. There's always going to be people that are waiting for you to fall. Do not give them the satisfaction of that shit. Do not give them that satisfaction. And this is something that happened a couple years ago. And I know you remember this. As soon as I bring it up, you remember this. But it's probably 3-4 years ago. This is kind of like when we first started MB. We didn't even rebrand yet. We're still in the process of the
2 coconut trees.
Yeah, the 2 coconut trees and all that stuff for our logo, right?
Yeah.
And woke up in the morning, checked my phone, got a message on Instagram.
Oh, yep.
And then the message was like, "Hey, bro, did you see this?" Looked at the video, and it was somebody who had another brand, which I don't give a fuck about this shit no more. Like, this shit happened before, and I was heated when it happened, but it doesn't really matter to me anymore. Yeah. Because so basically what happened was, I looked at the video, and it was one of our hats with beer cans filled up inside of the hat. And they shook the hat, they said some comments, and they dumped it in the trash, right?
And that was like back when we first started.
Yeah, that was in the fucking beginning, right? So there's haters, right? That shit just happens. It is what it is. Yeah. And I've never wanted to give a hater my energy. Like, that's just not, even back in that time. As hot as I was when I heard or saw that video.
Oh, I remember, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, even looking at that, that's their problem. It's not mine. I'm going to still keep rolling. Or we're going to still keep doing. Might even go harder just because you want to do some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
But there's always going to be someone there to try and tear you down, and they're trying to wait for you to fall. And check this out. That brand is no longer going. That person is no longer going with that brand. And we're still fucking rolling. That's how that shit works. People that can't focus on themselves and they want to focus on what other people are doing, it's hard to be that one. It's just hard to be that one because your energy is going in the wrong fucking places. Yeah. You got to focus on you, make yourself the best version of yourself that you possibly can, continuously working, knowing that it's going to take a long time, and other people will want to follow suit, right?
Yeah.
They want to see your results. I even talked to somebody that came into the shop a while ago, same thing. Yeah, it was Pete. I think he mentioned it on the podcast. And he was talking about how, you know, he wanted to get his girl into the gym and stuff. I said, bro, just keep going. Just keep going. You know, that energy that you get from the gym, it's going to spread to her, you know, as long as you consistently keep doing it and you don't make it a season, you don't phase it out, you know, like go every now and then.
Yeah.
You keep going and you keep bringing that energy home because you went to the gym. Eventually she's going to want to start going. Then look what happened. She went and started going with her, you know, then she started getting comfortable, and that stuff spreads, man. It'll spread. So choosing to be the one, executing on those actions that take you to be that one, right? So when I was in college, right, on the baseball team, bro, my sophomore year, we had a fucking great team. We had a good team my freshman year, but we had a really good team my sophomore year. A lot of the freshmen came back. They got better. A lot of guys even made the like all conference team and stuff like that were freshmen. They came back to our sophomore year. We had a really good fucking team, bro. And I came back and I actually became the starting shortstop. I was having a great year. I wasn't the team captain or nothing, but I was having a fucking really good season. That team didn't have a leader though. Our best player was not a leader.
He was probably good, but he wasn't.
He was really good, but he wasn't a leader. And that was even guys that were, so the guys that were leaders weren't having good seasons too, which was kind of the shitty part of it, right? Yeah. I was having such a good season, but at that time, I was not the kind of step out and say anything, right? Yeah. But that's all our team needed. Our team had everything we needed. We had all the skill that we needed, all the players that we needed to get the job done, to be a really good team in our conference. But we were shitting the bed constantly, bro. Like we were losing games we shouldn't have been losing. Guys were getting in trouble left and right. I was one of them too, you know, that got in trouble. But I look back on that a lot and I think about how I could have just stepped out and been that one, said something, got guys straight. Like I showed up to practice every day early. I left practice late. I set the example. I was trying to be an example, right? Doing all the work. It's the same thing like when I was in my freshman year. I practiced every day because I was doing infield stuff and pitching stuff, right? So position player stuff and pitching stuff. So that made it so that I had to practice every day. Didn't have a day off, right? Like some of the other players. But trying to set that example, but I never spoke. Like I was so quiet. I just did the work, never said anything, never tried to correct people, not correct, but like kind of influence people, right? Like influence people to do the right thing. Yeah. Even though I knew what the right thing was and I knew I had to do that. And look what happened. Like if all it took was for me to probably say something, start being a leader, a more vocal leader, and it could have changed the trajectory of our season.
That's why in the beginning when you said that, be the one, I'm like, because I feel like I would struggle with the same thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I know I should probably say this, but it's something about that environment or being around other people and not wanting to stick out. That's the hurdle to get over. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the hurdle we have to get over when it comes to something like that. But how do you do it? You know, and it takes courage, I think. You know?
It does. It takes a lot. And you just think about the norm in the Islander society, right? Yep. It is very normal to be overweight. It is very normal to drink all the time, pretty much every weekend, right? It's very normal to gather and, you know, just get drunk and, you know, you'll see drama, fights or, you know, stuff like that. It's very normal. I was part of it. That's why I talk about it, right? I was part of it. I was doing that same thing. It's very normal for us to do those things. But it's not normal for us to do things like be fit and eat right. Because what would people say a lot of the time when you or eat like
they're gonna give you a hard time about
it. Yeah, they give you a hard time. Like, why are you eating like that? Why you like the same thing? Why are you getting so fit for no reason? Nothing, You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like that. Why that's outside of the norm? I don't know. It's because of the culture we've built, I guess, you know, over all the years. That's the norm. And it sucks because it makes it very difficult for our people to want to step out and be better, go do something. Because imagine if you're somebody that went out, did something a little bit different, and you actually really succeeded, right? A lot of those people, right? If you succeed, make a lot of money, now they look at you differently, right? Yeah. They look at you like you weren't one of us anyway. Because they can bring you down. They're not like, they're either cheering you on like crazy because you're one of them. Like let's think about like NFL players, right? like, or singers, stuff like that, like Polynesian singers, Polynesian football players, stuff like that. There ain't nobody from, you know, Micronesia that's in the NFL, really. I think there's one guy, but I'm not, I don't know how
Was
well
it
known
Zach?
he is. No, Zach Banner was a Chamorro guy. He was in the NFL. I don't think he is now, but Jamal Agnew, I think he's from Saipan, or his family's from Saipan. But yeah, there's a lot of Polynesian players, right? And a lot of Polynesian singers that are very popular, stuff like that. And I always think and look back at that is because they're so talented and they were willing to put in the work to get to that point, right? But that was all based off of their own work, right? Their own work ethic to put in the work, the time to do those things. They didn't need other people like outside them to support that. Like if they had a business where they need, like a business like us, right? Like
we rely on
the support of the customers, right? Of our island people. These people, the only thing they need is to bust their ass, work hard, and work with their teammates, right? And even for the singers solo, right? They do their thing. And it kind of sucks, like because when they make it, you're cheering them on because it only took them. But when it's other people that kind of have to support other people, their own to get up there, they're gonna support you when you start it because it's like, oh, they're just kind of waiting for you to. It's like, oh, he got something started. Let's just, you know, let's support. Let's, you know, be family, stuff like that. But as soon as you start to make it, that support's gonna be pulled back, boy, because they don't want you to remind them of the stuff that they wanted to do once. That they gave up on, but you are now succeeding at, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like
there's a turning point when it comes to that.
Yeah, for sure. You know? Like people don't like a lot of times your people are gonna want to see you at the beginning. They say, "Oh man, this is, you know, this is great. I like what you're doing," stuff like that. But then you'll have those people where like you remind them of the shit that they gave up on.
Yeah.
And the stuff that they want to do, but they're not willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people don't even see how much shit goes into, you know, even doing this. And imagine working out still every day and running the business and stuff. Like a lot of people don't even understand.
Having a job,
everything.
having your family still, and all that.
A lot of people just don't understand what all goes into it. But they'll support until they just see that, all right, you're doing too good. So you're doing.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I do that something like maybe not in that aspect, but like when I find a YouTuber or something like that, when they're small, you know, I love it. I'll watch every single video, like every single. But once I get to a certain point, I can no longer relate. That's when I fall off. Yeah. So, you know, but I don't know if that's a similar mentality when people do that, you know, with us or what, if they can no longer relate. But, you know, I think the difference is like when I watch those videos, those guys are doing it to grow their channel to, you know, so they can be famous or whatever. With us, you know, our goal is to help bring everybody else up to that level. Yeah, lift people. You know, so hopefully they can see that difference. You know, it's not like we're trying to make you feel bad and, you know, whatever. But the goal is to help bring you all up, you know, bring everybody up. I'm not even up yet, but you know, it's to try to help our people in general. Yeah. It's like
we talk about, we're as we go on our journey and we're getting better, we want to talk about it so it helps other people and lift them to come with us. Like there's nothing great. Honestly, I don't feel anything great about trying to be the best and then being alone there. Like there's nothing great about that to me.
Because then you're just alone.
Exactly. And I get the most fulfillment when we do these things and people are following along, or they're doing things that are great for themselves because they saw something or heard something that we did and it inspired them or motivated them to start. Yeah. Like that's all that I ever try to do, because that fucking makes me feel better than anything. Like it makes me feel better than having fucking huge sales. It makes me feel better than anything else we do here. That shit, when somebody,
that's real. That's real
exactly
stuff,
because that is their life, man. Yeah. And if you can help somebody with their life and help them get better to a point where they feel better, they're doing better, they're better parents, they're just better people for the people around them. Yeah. There's no better feeling than that. There's no better feeling than that. And it's all because you help them start. And that's all we try to do, right? So it's like also going into when that stuff happened, like throwing like our hat getting thrown in the trash can, you know, people maybe not wanting to see us succeed or exceed what they expected of us, right? because a lot of people probably expected us to go a couple years, stop, right, quit. And it's the norm. That's what a lot of people just do. They start something and they just don't stick with it. And I fucking see it even with just like a lot of the 75 hard stuff and stuff like that. Like people say, I'm going to start this, and they give up like that. Like it's just part of it. Like this majority of people just do that. And when they see you not do that, it's like, yeah, like I don't want to see them go too far because of I'm not going that far. You know what I'm saying? And it sucks but that's reality.
That is reality.
But when these times come, and the way I look at it is, I'm not judging those people, right? You're going to get judgment from others. You should expect that when you try to do things that are outside of what the norm is. When you're trying to be that one, you're going to get judgment of others, right?
Yep.
From others. But you should not be putting judgment on them as you go through this, because once again, that's energy focused on the wrong things. Your energy should be focused on what you're doing and what you're trying to do, and not focused on putting that especially negative energy, taking the negative energy, because unless it's going to fuel you to be better, never just trying to throw that back. Your judgment of others, you should always give grace, right? You should always give grace. Always try to understand where that person's at, where that person's coming from. Like a lot of people that put out, and they like I know people have heard this before, hurt people. Like that's just a real thing. People that come from a space where they want to bring you down and tear you down and give you negative energy and kind of shit on you, they're coming from a place where they're not right. They're not good, right? That even when people like go on social media and stuff, right? People that actually spend time to put negative comments, they're coming from a place of negativity. Like that's just in their head. That has nothing to do with you. Because people, like we just said, people are not perfect. Nobody's perfect. Yeah. People are trying to be better, but we're still never going to reach perfection. So how do you think that person feels about themselves when they're not even trying to better themselves? They don't know they barely know what accomplishment feels like. So, and they don't know what the process feels like to go through and do something hard and do stuff that makes you uncomfortable. So they'll shit on anybody that tries to do it, right? Because all they know is the comfortability of the norm.
Some people might not even be aware of it too, I realize.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Some people may do it intentionally, but others may do it unintentionally. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It takes self-reflection to realize what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because I've done things in the past, like, why did I even do that? Well, why did I say that? There was no point of saying that or being like that or acting like that. But it wasn't until I got older with a little more wisdom, you start to realize those things. But some people do it intentionally, some people don't.
Yeah.
And the people who don't probably need the most help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's the hard part. Just, being self-aware.
That's a lot. That takes time.
That's a lot for a lot of people. Like, even me, it took me a while to figure out that I was fucked up. Like I wasn't doing the right shit. Even though a lot of times I thought that, I thought that I was doing the right things. I was trying to be the better person. There's still a lot of factors and things in my life that I was doing that I should not have been a part of, should not have been doing, especially when I'm trying to like reach certain goals and stuff. Like there's certain things that you have to do, have to kick out and understand that you are fucked up in a way and you got to fix it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the only way to understand that is self-awareness and finding the information to how you can fix it, right? Yeah. Like, so you can know about it, you can know you're fucked up, but if you don't know how to fix it, or you don't know how
can't do anything.
Yeah, you if you don't know how other people have dealt with that problem, you're not gonna know how to fix it, right?
It's interesting because me and my wife watched a podcast last night and talked about that relationship with a couple who went through some crazy shit that they almost got divorced, but the wife took it upon herself to seek help, go to therapy or a group, some kind of support group to help her navigate it, because she knew she loved her husband, but what he did was almost unforgivable. But I paused the video. I said, if she didn't take those steps to seek knowledge, to try to navigate this, they would not be together today. I guarantee it. She would have just said deuces, and there would be no podcast. Yeah. But since she went to seek knowledge, that helped both of them navigate it and get through it. And I think that's huge That's one thing we got to remember too. It's like you said, or it's like if you have a broken car and you know how to fix it,
Mhm.
the car's never gonna get fixed.
Mhm.
But if you go to school for it, you can fix that shit. So
Mhm. Yeah.
that's important. I think it's important too to seek knowledge.
Yeah. So you have the tools, right?
So you have the tools.
You have the tools to fix those problems.
And a lot of people don't do it.
Yeah.
Because it's the norm. It's the day to day. It's the rinse and repeat.
This is how it is. Like that's how they say, right? Like this is
or
how
they
it
accept it.
Because this is all they've seen. So like this is all they've seen growing up. This is all we know.
Which is knowledge. That's knowledge too.
Mm-hmm.
Limited knowledge, but it's still knowledge. So you fall back on the norm. You fall back on what you see, what you're used to, and what you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're up against a challenge that you've never been before, it's time. It's time to step outside the box and look somewhere else.
Yeah. I think about like when we talk about the tools, right? I think about when you're trying to do something big, or you're trying to go for goals, or you're trying to be a good parent, just a good person that can help people, that can, be a better person for your community. I think about it like this sometimes. Like, so if you were to give your kid, if I wanted to give like Andre, right, my oldest son, his first car when he got older, right? And it's like me giving him, if I wasn't working on myself and I didn't build myself to try to be a better man, a better person, right? It's like me giving him a Honda Accord that's fucked up, engine's jacked up, but it gets him from point A to point B.
Yeah.
But he always has to do something crazy like jerry rig stuff and stuff like that, right? But the more I work on myself and the more tools I get, the more skills I build within our relationship, it's like being able to put more high performance parts in that engine, being able to make it so that he doesn't have to jerry rig stuff. Yeah. Make it so that the ride is smoother. The problems are solved easier. Yeah. Right. And I always just think about it like that. Like if I was to give, especially as a dad, if I'm going to help my kid, help my boys especially become good men, I have to have the tools for that. I have to have the skills for that. Yeah. I have to show them and be the example, because if they don't have the example right in front of them, they've never seen it right in front of them, they're never going to think that it's possible, right? They're not going to think that it's possible because they've never seen it right in front of them. When you see people on a screen or you see people like far away, you think that's just for them. You don't think that's for your kind of people. You don't think that it's possible for you because you've never seen it directly in front of you.
Yep. There's a difference.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yep.
Huge. And so if you can be that person to somebody, you can inspire them to show that it is possible that you can do these things, right? It's like you're about to run your first half marathon. Dude, like you didn't think you could do that. Like, and I fucking bring this up a lot, but it's crazy because if you really understand where we were at that, and 2 years ago, if you really understood where we were at that point, like there was no chance of that shit happening. No fucking chance. Like it was not gonna fucking happen. But now he's about to run his first half marathon. I ran 2 fucking marathons in 6 months, in a 6-month span. I never even thought I could run before that. Never even thought I could run fucking 1. Yeah. The Spartan race that we just finished, that I thought back in the day, that it's like, there's no fucking way I could do that. It was easier than the fucking marathons for me.
That's crazy.
It was actually fun. Yeah. And so it's crazy to think that what I thought I couldn't do,
what you thought was impossible at one point.
Yeah. I did. And it really wasn't even that bad. And it's because I built myself up. I got the tools and the skills I needed to get there. Yeah. And to handle that shit. Yeah. Like, it's crazy to think, man, like it might be a long process, but it fucking is insane when you get to that point from doing something that you never thought you could do.
It's going to be a long process.
Yeah. And
don't expect it overnight. Don't expect instant,
And it sucks, man. Like it's shit because I do bring it up a lot, but it is probably the biggest thing in our journey that I can talk about because
so far, yeah.
Yeah, so far at least, because I only plan on getting better from there. Like the shit that I have planned for next year, you guys will be I'm telling you, the shit that I have planned next year, I've already talked to Mark about it. Yeah. And the things that I want to do next year, it's insane. There's no way 2 years ago I would have even thought that it was a possibility.
I would have never. That's a short amount of time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I'm only, and believe me, I think long road for all this shit now. I just only think, where am I going to be at in 5 years if I just keep doing this shit? If I just keep doing it? Because I'm going to make this shit harder and harder for myself because I want to keep going through it because I love what I get from going through the journey and going through the process of doing all this shit.
And we talked about that too the other night.
Mhm.
It's like sometimes it's not even about the end goal.
Mhm.
You know, with running and getting the medal and finishing the race. It's like, yeah, that's great, but really the best parts of it were the journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
The
that's
process,
important.
man.
The process, yeah.
Like I was telling Mark the other night, like after doing the marathons and the Spartan race and stuff like that, when you get to the actual race and you actually finish the race, it's not as hype as you thought it would be. Like I don't feel that. Like I'm almost thinking immediately, what am I gonna do next after that? And it's because like it's really about the journey it took me to get there. Like all the like for the marathons, the training process is long. It's a lot of days where you have to go out and run in shitty weather. You fucking don't feel like it. You're tired already. Like, but you still have to get it done. And it's because, and when you get to the marathon, it's about the actual end goal. It's about the person you became on that journey. Like you turned into a different person to be able to accomplish that goal. Getting there was cool, right? Like I think about the second marathon. I went through a whole fucking injury where it kept me out for 4 to 5 weeks from running, but I was still able to show up because of the person I became through the first marathon, 75 hard, all that stuff. Because of the person I became, I still able to keep up my fitness enough and run in the last week and understand that it's all mental for me. I knew that, right? And it's because I went through those processes, man. I went through, and it's because of the person I became through those processes that got me through that second marathon. I might not have hit my goal, but I wasn't that far off for somebody that just went through some fucking injuries and shit like that, right? It was a failure, right? But I went through the process and it was fucking great. It was lessons learned. It was everything that I needed. It was everything that I needed. I had to go through that. So it's only going to get fucking better because we're only going to keep growing because of how uncomfortable those processes are. But you have to build yourself and go through it and be that one that decides I'm going to go do something a little different because I want the tools. I want to go through the process to become the person that I want to become. Yeah. Really want to become. All right. So like one of the things that people really get worried about, and I've been worried about this and because it really did take a long time, but I'm a huge believer in God and I believe he puts us through everything for a reason. Right. And I would, as you know, it's lonely. It is lonely going through a lot of this shit. Right. Not a lot of people will decide to go on a path like this. So anybody that tries to go outside of the norm, it's going to be lonely. It's going to be hard because not a lot of people want to do it. That's why it's not the norm, right? Yeah. So you're always hoping and waiting for your tribe, your people to come along, follow you, and go, ride that train with you, right? Yeah. As a train is going by, I say that. Yeah. Ride that train with you. And it took a long time, I feel like, for me to find that tribe, right? Or for that tribe to find me. And it was very lonely. And it's fucking hard and it sucks, but your tribe will come. Believe in it. There are literally people out there waiting for permission. Waiting for permission to be the one with you. Like waiting for someone to show them how to do it. Yeah. And how to go on that journey. And if they can go on that journey, there's people out there waiting for that. There's somebody inside of them. They know there's more out there. They want to go do more. But because they're stuck in the norm, they don't see it. Like someone like them, right? Someone like them that's going outside of the norm. And that's all they needed, right? That's all they need. They're just waiting for permission to go do that. They're just waiting for permission to go and be what they really wanted to be, what they really want to do, and understand that they are capable. Yeah. Right. And it took a while, right, for my tribe or the people that I know that are really on the same path as me and really want to do bigger things and be better people. that took a while. But
Yep.
and I'm telling you, this wasn't even long ago. Like I talked to God and I asked him, I was like, when are my people gonna come? Because man, this is getting crazy. Like I'm doing all this shit and I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And but I'm showing up every day. I'm showing up every day because I know what it's gonna lead to. It's a bigger goal at the end. It's a bigger purpose. I have a bigger purpose and I know that there's something bigger out there for me. There's no way I can go through all this shit and there's really and it was for nothing,
There's
right?
no outcome. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. And if I put myself through it long enough, my people will come and our purpose will be met. And last weekend, that really showed me what my tribe, like that fucking showed me. I got with Wilton. Wilton is a fucking beast. He was here on the podcast. You guys heard him. If you listened to that podcast, if you didn't, you probably should, because that was a good ass
2-part podcast.
It's a 2-part, but it was a good ass podcast. And like I said, like Wilton's older than me. I look up to him. I respect him a lot.
Yep.
And if only you knew what even happened just that day, bro. Like, and that dude still got the workout in with us. Straight faced and fucking sweating our asses off, fucking tearing our legs up. Like, it was a fucking great workout. And that's how I knew. These are my fucking people right here, man. Because and it shows, because the work, like getting that workout in, that was there, and we did that, and it proved that we're all putting in the work daily, like we say we are.
Yeah.
Because if you showed up and you weren't putting in the work daily, it would have showed in that work. It would have showed in that workout.
Yeah.
But all of us got through that fucking workout, handled that fucking workout. It could have went another way. Somebody could be like, I'm done, bro. Like, I can't fucking do it. No, everybody fucking got that workout in. It was a good one. I tell you, it was a fucking good one. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how I knew, like, this is my fucking people, bro, because they're on a journey to better themselves. And you have to be around that. If that's what you're trying to do, you have to be around the negativity, the people that even don't strive for anything better than what they have now. Yeah. That shit is hard, bro. Like,
that's great to see, because now it can only get bigger, you know?
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Exactly. And like me and Wilton, like, even after the workout, like we talked about plans beforehand. Wilton's on he's got some shit that he's about to start up, and there's more stuff that I still want to talk to him about, because that guy has the same vision as me. And when I think about it too, like, he was talking about baseball when he was here. Me and him literally had the same vision when we came out to the States about baseball. Like, I know my purpose when growing up in Saipan and playing baseball, all I thought about was, I'm going to be the first player from the CNMI to make it to the MLB. I'm going to be the first. But guess what? That it wasn't because I just wanted everybody to know me. I didn't want to be. It's not because I just wanted to be the best. It's because if I got there, I'm opening the doors to everybody else in the CNMI. That's the whole reason why I wanted to make it. Like, it's because we had so many good players, and I knew that as soon as I got into college, I know we had so many good players, bro. Like that come from, and we still do have good players that come from the CNMI and from, you know, Guam and everywhere. But because one hasn't made it yet, it's hard for people to even look there. Right. Look that there's talent there, or that there's, you know, the skill, the IQ for the game there, you know. And that's why I know that was Wilton's same vision, man. I know when I look at him and I hear him talk, I know, because he wants to do everything for his people, and we want to do everything for our people, you know. So it's the same fucking vision. So I'm really looking forward to working like with Wilton more, man, and just learning more and going on another journey with him, like, because he's going through stuff, and it makes it so much better, easier for all of us when we do it together. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same like with everybody that's out there, that when you're going on your journey and you're going through your processes, we're here. Like, everybody knows, like, if you DM us, you email us, I'm responding. Like, I'm not too cool to fucking, you know, respond to nobody. Like, might be busy, might not be right away, but I will respond. Like, we do this for a reason, and we want to help people, and I'm putting myself through the processes and going through the journey as hard as fuck, so that I can learn quicker and learn better, so that I can help more people. Like, and I want to help you. So if you're that person on this episode that's listening and it's connecting with you, and like I said, it's going to be one person, and we're talking to that one person. If it's going to be you, we're here, and we're here to help you on that journey if you need us. And if we can help, we will help. If we don't have the answer right now, we're going to find it, and we can
stay tuned.
Yeah, we're going to find it, and we can also fucking bring it to other people such as Wilton that probably knows the answer, right? Somebody that's has acquired knowledge through the process and the journey that can help you out too, right? So there's enough people, I think, that are on this that we can all help each other out, right? And then the last thing is create that compounding effect, right? That compounding ripple effect. Because if you are that one, and you just get one person, that one person gets one person, that one person gets one person, and it just keeps going on. That person gets 10 people. Like, you never know what it could do. You never know what your actions can do. That's why it doesn't matter if you think you're a leader or not. People are watching. You're an example for somebody, and the example you set can stick with somebody, and it can cause them to do things that they never thought they would do. It could cause them to do things that just makes them a better person. And then somebody else is watching them. That's why, especially with social media nowadays, man. Like, if you get social media multiplies and makes things like blow up so damn quick. Mm-hmm. Like, with whatever actions you're putting out consistently, people see that. Whether you're drinking all the time, people see that. They might start drinking all the time, right? Because they say, he does it, I can do it too. And if you're working out every day, oh shit, he does it, I can do it too. Like, it depends. Whatever your fucking actions are, people are watching, and people can follow. And the thing that they're gonna look at the most is the results that you're getting in your life. So if they're watching you, you're working out every day, you're eating right, all you do is work, and all you do is, and you're a good family man, good family, woman, and you're doing the right things, they're most likely going to follow you, right? They're going to most likely want to follow your example. So create that ripple effect, man. Create that compounding effect. The compounding effect goes into your actions that just compound everything that you do, right? Like the working out every day, eating clean, or eating right, not drinking every weekend, give yourself that when you want, but not all the damn time, right? Yeah. I always say that, not all the fucking time. And those things will compound over a long span. Like, I'm telling you, you feel it, and you know what you've been through, and you look back and you're like, how did I come from this? And now I'm here, So be that for your community. Be the one for your group. Be the one for your family. You can be the one. You are a leader, whether you believe it or not. Someone's watching you.
Like the government.
Even the government. Turn your phones off. Cover your cameras. Better yourself. You're going to better everyone around you. Hey, man, that's the episode. I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add in there.
No, I'm over here looking like I'm part of the audience. I'm just listening the whole time.
Hey, man, we're just, like we said, we're trying to become better. We're trying to, with the goals that we have, it takes a lot of work and time. So there's a lot of compounding that we're trying to do, and a lot of, that ripple effect that we're trying to create. So it's us getting better and lifting others with us, because, like I said in the beginning, there's nothing better to me than bringing people along and helping people get better, because I'm seeing it throughout, our social media, like the people that follow us and stuff like that. I love seeing the people that are just fucking getting better, bro. And I love seeing people that are hitting the gyms and they're posting progress photos and stuff where they used to be and shit like that. Like, that shit is crazy. Yeah, that shit is crazy, man. And people doing things that they weren't doing before, and doing things that planning to do things that they couldn't do before. And we're doing things here that we've never done before, and we're gonna facts. So we're getting better. As we get better ourselves, the brand follows, man, and it's great, and it's fucking great. And we're meeting the right people, we're connecting with the right people that are on the same journey, and it's making us better. So, go out, be better,
Either one.
And always do that shit out of style. Let's go.